So they'll be calling you a radical. What an historical time and moment for Weber State basketball. I've been here the whole time since the day this building opened. Well, long even before that. And the greatest player in the history of this building, bar none, it's Dillon Jones. My favorite player, Dillon Jones. So let's talk about, and that's talking the great Damian Lillard. Oh my God. Jerry Carding, Joe Ballenboy, Scotty Bamforth. The players that have come through here, oh my God. Jeremy Sieglin. I mean, it's unbelievable what players have come through here. So the incredible Dillon Jones, and I'm going to talk about because I talk to people. There are so many people right here in this building that sit right there and just argue with me. I'm like, no, it's first. You know how many people? Oh, well, because my bet, everybody knows what my bet is. Well, I'll bet you a steak at the timber mine. Oh, I owed a lot of fucking steaks at the timber mine. I mean, lifetime friends or anything. Mr. Freeze, he knew what he was, but everybody else is all hell no. And I went by the Delta Center last night. Kev was in there, and he said he was talking my rhetoric. He's going for it, and they were all laughing. That's how stupid the Jazz are. Well, the Jazz are stupid, but the good thing is the summer league is here. So OKC will play in the summer league, and that starts here next week. And so we'll be able to watch Dillon play down there in the summer league because you can't afford Jazz tickets. So let's talk about how this played out. Chug our juice. It's an historic moment on this campus in this university. It's a big deal. It's really a big deal for a lot of people. So the young trainer is from Tokyo. Tai. He and I are friends. We talk Fukushima all the time. And he's a huge fan of Dillon Jones. Who isn't? Here. So Dillon Jones, so let me talk about how this played out, because there's a reason these scouts, I sit right on the front row and I talk, there's a reason all these scouts were here every day. And these fools that had him at 50s, I used to just laugh. So here's how this played out. And I can't give enough credit to the organization, OKC. Look what they've done with draft picks in the last couple years. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. They were going to take him no matter what they had to do, no matter how low they had to go. They were going to go as low as 13 to get him. They were going to get him, period. And I think they got the two best players in the entire draft. This will look back in history, I think, is one of the great steals in NBA history in draft choices. Dillon Jones, 26. But OKC, those guys are sharp, man. Look what they put together, and they're ready to win now. I mean, remember, they were the number 1 seed this year, and they traded. I mean, they know what they're doing. They want to win. Now, they took the 12th pick. He would have been the top 3 picks, but he's hurt. Well, they know it'll be better here, but they need. I mean, they're ready to win the championship now. They got upset. They were the 1 seed. They've got a team. He fits. He's perfect. As I've said the whole time, you're going to play point guard. I'm here to tell you. I mean, he could play anything. I mean, I've never seen a player in my life, and play back the tape on Kevin Blanch. I'm the first guy that identified Rashid Shaheed as, the NFL superstar, which he is. So we got Lightning, Rashid. I mean, now the Thunder has Dillon. Dillon's going to be a superstar in the NBA. And people don't get this. Here's some intangibles I think they know. I know they know. He's a 4.0 student. He's not your typical anal 4.0 student. Big, broad mind. Really down to earth. Really kind, educated, strong person. But the other thing, the legendary trainer Joe, I was just talking to him, the dude never gets hurt. He's so durable. He's so strong. He's Karl Malone-ish, work ethic-wise and physicality. He don't get hurt. He's just a beast. He's just a natural physical beast. And this, Lillard's training is epic. Lillard turned himself into the physical beast. Lillard train. Dillon's just a physical. I mean, look at the way he's built. I mean, that wingspan, those hips. I mean, he crashes in this sport here. I always say, wear football helmets when I tell these young players when they get here. So how'd this play out? So, just what I thought, OKC was going to take him as high as 13. Now, these guys don't all stab each other in the back, but kind of, sort of, when it comes to the NBA draft. They talk. So they pretty well know who's going to take who, as it's getting close. Well, yeah, okay. So they're waiting, they're late. The Knicks, just like I said, I was all over it. I said the Celtics, the Lakers. Lakers couldn't put it off. Celtics were going to take him, but they didn't have 30. But the Knicks were, they're like, we're taking him. We got 24 and 25. If he's still available, we're taking him, period. Well, and OKC's looking, watching. Whoever's going to take it, we don't care how high we got to trade up. We're trading all the way up. And so the Knicks are saying, no, you're not getting him. He's ours. You're not getting him. You're not getting him. So the Knicks pull the okey-finoki on to get a little more out of the juice deal. They're like, well, these guys are willing to give us about anything. They want him. So they grab the 26th pick from the Wizards because they knew. So even get a little more juice. So it was a three-way deal. So they first were talking 1 or 2 second-round picks. Then it was 3. Oh, no. Now, what player in the history goes as low as 26 in the first round that you trade 5 second-round picks for him? It tells you it just shows you how smart these OKC's manage. And look what they've done the last few years through draft picks. I mean, they got it going on. Those guys are sharp as sharp. And I talked to these guys, and I'm telling you, the Knicks wanted him bad, and I knew that, and I reported that yesterday. Well, I reported that for a little while, that they were going to take him, and they were going to take him. But, everybody's got the price. 5 second-round picks, and they okey-finokied on the Wizards. I talked to Joel, and he says, yeah, the Wizards are calling me constantly, So, a lot of people owe me a lot of money around. Well, not money. I don't bet money. I mean, I bet steaks in the timber mine and beers. So, anyway, I don't think it could have worked out even better for Dillon. He'll get the guaranteed. Now, remember, he was a late first-round pick possibly last year. Not possibly. And he had to wait right to the last minute. Because I don't think a lot of people realize this. Only first-round picks are guaranteed money in the NBA. That's a big deal. I mean, big deal. Guaranteed money. I mean, go ask for Rashid Shaheed. You know Rashid Shaheed, Pro Bowl, is still playing for the league minimum. He didn't get drafted. What is there, 5, 6 players in the NBA? In the NFL from Weber State now? None of them drafted? Well, you don't think that's collusion? Oh, fuck, that's collusion. But anyway, hats off to, by the way, the greatest player who ever played here in this building, the great, incredible Jerry Carding. Well, he's making plenty of money tearing it up in Europe. That dude, until Dillon Jones came along. And that's saying a lot. Ruben Nemhart, Jimmy DeGraffiti, Harold Arsenault, the show, Gil. Those guys knew how to win. What players, the great, the legend. I mean, the God around here. I mean, there's a legend God around here, and he's like God in Ogden. Damian Lillard. But all these great players, the greatest player ever played here is Dillon Jones. And there's no doubt in my mind he's going to be a marquee, great NBA player. And will this put OKC over the top and win it? It might. So we're all rooting around here for OKC versus the Bucks. I was really surprised. I think a lot of people were surprised when 23 come around, the Bucks didn't take him. But the Knicks, OKC was going to trade with whoever they had to. And the rumor is, and I think it's probably true, they were going to go as clear down to 13 to get him. Maybe even lower. They were dead set on getting this guy. And anybody with half a brain, I think it'll look back in history as one of the great draft choices and the great trades in history. The Knicks, they're good. I mean, really good. Would have been a great fit for them, but everybody has their price. They got a hell of a deal out of it. How much? But I don't know. It's still the Knicks. But so that'll be the marquee game. We can't afford to go to games around. I'm full of cancer. Why I was. Open heart surgery. Dillon's the shit, and I'm thrilled for him. Everybody around here is. He's the nicest dude ever. When I had my heart attack last year, and I want to say this, because last night when he got drafted, I was so excited, and and when the deal, I saw the terms of the deal, and I knew it, and I'm like, yeah, I knew I was right on it the whole time. I knew because I said what they said. I've watched. I know how to evaluate talent. I knew they'd never find another guy like this. I couldn't help but think of the incredible Steve Klauke. Steve Klauke loved Dillon. Steve Klauke was close with Dillon. I mean, Steve Klauke knew his shit. Steve Klauke, it was his favorite Weber State player. You know, as you know, did the play-by-play here, the legend for Weber State basketball. He came after Lillard. Archie did it for Lillard. He called Lillard the Great Dane, but Steve Klauke, Dillon Jones with another Karam collection, another double-double. Dillon Jones, he loved Dillon, and he would have been so thrilled. I'll guarantee he'd have been down at the Delta Center watching that. So I couldn't help but thinking. It got real emotional. He was killed tragically just a couple weeks ago, hit by a car. So, and I know Dillon will think about that. And I know he will. When I had, I've been fighting AML leukemia, as you know, since 2011. I've been stuck here, connected to that hospital where they have given 2 months to live. I've had open heart surgery twice. Last year, the year before, the aortic valve they replaced ruptured, and it tore my artery, all this shit, which I was telling them it's not working. My perfectly good heart, I had a central line in me. I have AML de novo leukemia. I got in 2011. That's why I missed Lillard's games. Some of them right at the end. I was going out of a coma, but the chemo tore up my heart valve. So I had open heart surgery in 2017, replaced it. So I kept telling him it's not working. I suffered through it for 5 years doing my marine biology work. The nuclear, the water, it ruptured right up on top, and it tore the shit out of 2 heart attacks. I don't know how I didn't die. So the great Steve Klauke would, our great friend Kevin Blanch, who hit the call here for the radio station for all his KWCR, well, 88.1 to be, was right across the street listening to us on the radio, fighting for his life. That's who told Dillon that where's Blanch? His heart ruptured. He's fighting for his life. Harvest artery out of my leg, scarred from here to here. I have a pacemaker now. I listened to the great Klauke on the radio across the street. When I came out, I got to come out, after surgery a few weeks, come to the game. I can't go up and down the stairs. I can barely walk. I'm like this. Dillon spots me after the game all the way across the ring, up the stairs, whatever. I've been praying for you, man. Every single game since then, he'll walk right to me. How's it doing? This is the kind of person he is. I mean, the nicest dude ever. 4.0 student. The thing that I always talk about, I call him Dylan Dantley Magic Jones, because at the rim, the way you realize you're talking an 88% free throw shooter at his physicality. The thing that people underestimate in him, he's the greatest rebounder in the history of this school. Well, the history of this building. That'd be Willie Soldier in the school. But Willie Soldier's what, 7'4"? This is the all-time leading steals leader in the history of this school. He's one great rebounder. 88% free throw shooter. All-time leader in the history of the school in steals. He broke Gill's record. This guy's the most diverse player I have ever seen in my life. Ever. And, I mean, I can talk basketball, blow your mind in this state. I watched Nash down there at the U upset freaking Stoudemire. I watched Jason Kidd's last game. I watched Jimmy Valvano cut down the nets in here. I watched the great Ruben Nembhard here and that heartbreaker against. And I was at that game in Alabama when they had Iverson beat the great Jimmy DeGraffi. All the great Neil McCarthy. Oh, what a coach. The great Dick Motter, the great Phil Johnson, all coaches here, the great Ron Baglin. You know, never have I seen a player like this. Never, never. I was given 2 months to live in 2011. I had AML Leukemia. I grew up right here. So, good on you, OKC. Really good on you. Really a great young winning program via the draft, putting it together with some really dynamic, think out of the box, smart people. Really. By the way, the COVID game, wasn't that the Jazz at OKC? Yeah. I mean, so we're rooting for Bucks versus Thunder in the finals. You know, so really thrilled. I think the great, incredible, the Hall of Famer, Damian Lillard, I'm sure he's thrilled. And Lillard will be back. Don't kid yourself. Got to go with that left, Jerry. You remember Dillon's punch game? It's the first time I talked to him was after that game as a freshman. I was in San Diego Tide Pool, and they were playing Idaho State. I saw it. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, my God. Klauke on the call. Yeah, I got to find that call when Klauke's like, what? I remember listening to it on the call when he accidentally knocked out the freaking referee. I can't remember how Klauke called it, but it was hilarious. It was so awesome. I ran into him right after that at the Stewart Library, and I'm like, you did something I've been wanting to do my whole life, young man. He says, what's that? And I says, knock out a big sky referee. He says, I didn't do it on purpose. But he wasn't Lillard. Lillard was an NBA caliber player in high school. I don't think people realize that. Lillard was on the NBA radar from day one. Now, he could go the second, late round, then not Dillon. Dillon wasn't heavily recruited. Oh, hell no. Dillon turned himself into this player. Dillon grew as the player, literally, year by year by year. The first person that called this out, you know, I was on Lillard immediately. I knew that. But I didn't really see that Dillon was going to be a NBA player until late in his second year. I started to think maybe. And then his third year, I'm all over him. Like, this guy's unbelievable. Old man, Mr. Freeze, he's 96 years old. One day he says, hey, Kevin, you know Dillon? Yeah. Call him over here. Dillon, come here. This is the oldest, longest fan here. He was a fan of Weaver State before I was born. Alan Holmes down at the old gym. Byron Russell's father. And he says, come here. I want to tell you something, young man. He says, this is when he's a freshman. Late in his freshman year, he says, you do know you're more advanced right now at this point than Damian Lillard was. You do know you keep going at this level, you're going to be an NBA superstar. Dillon's like, what? What? You really think so? And he says, no, I know so. Oh, man, that's right. Oh, man, Freeze is the shit. You know, Lillard's best fan. By far, he's Damian Lillard's best fan. So, congratulations. Can't wait to be a... Got to find me an old used set. By the way, that's another thing. The Dillon Jones changed the culture here. I'm the one that put him up to it. You know, his Dillon Jones shirts that he has here. You know, you got the Dillon Jones. I've had him autographed. You know, they're made here in the USA. They're made in Ogden, Coleman. I'm the one that put him up to that. So he changed the culture. They're doing more and more of that now. Uniforms made. Maybe Dillon can get. I mean, maybe we got a trend going here. But go Thunder. Go Thunder. You know. So Weaver State, I can guarantee you're going to have a whole bunch of new fans. right here in Ogden, Utah. So, by the way, let's see who the first one to ponies up. This is Blanch, calls me and says, "You're right." My simple bet was simple. He's a first-round pick. You want to bet me? He ain't no way he's first-round pick. I bet hundreds of people here. Hundreds. Everybody would argue with me. Including coaches. Oh, God, don't even get me going. He just came up to me, the Tokyo, Japan trainer that works. He does the communications here, the wiring setup. He saw me come just now. He was just here on a scooter. You were right, man. You were right. So my bet was, well, I'll bet you. What do you want to bet? I'll bet you. I said, steak at the timber mine. You got a bet. That beer at Brewski's a lot cheaper for the beer at Brewski's than the steak at timber mine. So go Dillon, man. My grandkids were all stoked up, fired up last night when they're like, because they didn't believe me either. They would argue with those two 2011ers. They would even argue with me, and I says, "Oh, you can argue with now, you little punk asses, huh?" "Oh, God, you were right, Grandpa." Yeah, remember that.